You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. A government to upgrade Solwezi water supply project at a total cost of 18 million kwacha. Bank of Zambia governor fired. OIV urges government to do more in sustaining youth empowerment programs. In international news, SA Level 2 lockdown in Uningdale town to boost tourism with its snowfalls winter. And in sports news, Lusaka Golf Club hosts 3-day tournament for the first time in a while. For the details, do join me shortly after this break.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444-726 or +260 971 177-467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, Camnet TV viewers. I'm your pastor, Pastor Moses Chuluba. On the 24th of August 2020, I'll be hosting the UPND President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, on national matters at 2030. Please make a date with me. Contributions will be by Skype and Zoom. You can also text. We hope to see you there. God richly bless you. May God bless Zambia.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga. Transport and Communications Minister Mutotwe Kafwaya says government is hopeful that once the privatization process of the Tanzania-Zambia Railways TAZARA is completed, it will help resuscitate the company through new investments. The minister is hopeful that the process will be completed quickly, adding that this will allow the capital injection into the company. He says TAZARA still has opportunities in the rail transport system which should be seized. Mr. Kafwaya was speaking Saturday morning in Kasama when he conducted a tour of TAZARA station aimed at appreciating opportunities and challenges the company may be facing. We have more in this report.
But also we have challenges. My thinking is that these challenges we have, to do with quality of service to our customers, to do with capacity in general, capacity maybe in human resources, capacity in equipment, should be addressed by the solution that we have already started working on. In the long term, we should be able to address that. We have well established where we are in terms of that revitalization process. I hope that it does complete quickly so that we begin to inject capital into critical areas, which need attention just about, now. I also think that all these opportunities that we see should be seized. I am already happy that you are working with some of the mines in emerging mines in Wapla province. Example, this manganese we see. You are already taking advantage of this region, being a food basket by facilitating the transportation of maize for FRA from this part of the country to where FRA is actually storing this in Central Province. So these opportunities must be seized, but also opportunities to improve our ability to deliver these services. So clearly, it's an eye-opener for me and a facilitator in terms of linking document information to actually what is on the ground. Once again, I want to thank you for your welcome, as well as the time you have spent, having us conduct this tour. It's very beneficial to me.
Thank you.
Government will be paid $2,700,000 United States dollars by Lodestar International as penalty for wasting the Zambian government's time in legal cases after it lost the case. This is in a matter where the Zambian government was sued by Lodestar International in 2018 in the London Court of International Arbitration. Details are on that the 4th of September 2012, both parties signed a contract for the construction of housing units belonging to the Ministry of Home Affairs. This came to light at a media briefing Saturday morning by Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo.
Lodestar International LLC, a company registered in North Carolina, United States of America, has lost a case against the Zambian government and ordered to pay the government of Zambia $2,700,000 United States dollars. Lodestar International sued the government of Zambia in the year 2018 in the London Court of International Arbitration on the case of constructing housing units for the Ministry of Home Affairs. Speaking at a press briefing held in Lusaka on the 22nd of August, Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo disclosed the government of Zambia has won a case in which Lodestar claimed government was in breach of contract for awarding the contract of constructing police housing units to AVIC International.
The findings of the tribunal were that as a matter of English law, which covered the contract was for all intents and purposes valid. However, the tribunal found that the contract was incapable of being enforced as a matter of Zambian law because the conditions precedent were not met and there was nothing that the government of the Republic of Zambia could do in order for the contract to be enforced. Further, the tribunal found that there was insufficient evidence to prove any corrupt allegations against Lodestar and against any official in the employment of the Zambian government. The tribunal went further to state that based on the evidence presented before it by Lodestar, it could not find any iota of evidence in the subsequent award of the contract to AVIC International for construction of the housing units which Lodestar would have constructed under the contract awarded to them. In any case, Lodestar International were invited to participate in the open tender which was advertised by the Ministry of Home Affairs, and they neglected to participate but instead decided to take Zambia to the London Court of International Arbitration. Following this tremendous decision, the tribunal ordered Lodestar International LCC to pay the Zambian government $2,700,000 United States dollars in respect of Zambia's legal and other costs.
The Minister of Home Affairs said Lodestar International failed to perform the obligations under the contract as the conditions preceded to the fulfillment and enforcement of the contract were not met. Therefore, Lodestar International has been ordered to pay the Zambian government $2,700,000 United States dollars in respect of Zambia's legal and other costs and in excess of the $970,000 US dollars compensation for expenses occurred by the Zambian government. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Lusaka District Commissioner David Disilubanje says Zambia is pursuing an ambitious diversification and inclusive economic growth program that will actualize the country's potential to become a manufacturing hub in Africa. Mr. Silubanje said the program is also meant to sustain economic growth and promote job creation anchored on the government's diversified economic strategy. The Lusaka District Commissioner Commissioner said this when he toured MMI Steel Zambia at a steel manufacturing company in his continued bid to create rapport among the Lusaka District Administration, industry players and other key stakeholders. We have details in this report.
In a bid to sustain economic growth and promote job creation, Zambia is pursuing an ambitious diversification and inclusive economic growth agenda. Premised on President Edgar Lungu's diversified economy strategy, government is implementing policies in a bid to accelerate industrialization program meant to reduce the importation of products like steel, thereby creating more jobs for the people. With Zambia being a construction site at the moment, the firm is already benefiting through the supply of its product to construction projects. District Commissioner David Slubanje has toured the MMI Steel Zambia in his continued bid to create rapport among the Lusaka District Administration, industries, and other key stakeholders. Mr. Slubanje and his senior staff are here to acquaint themselves with the operations of the steel manufacturing company and how it is coping in the new normal era amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
That this government, under the leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, has formulated and is implementing policies meant to support the industrialization program, meant to reduce the importation of products. Your consistency in the industry since you began your operation. You have continued to provide good products for our nation, for our local market, and providing employment to our people.
MMI Steel Zambia Limited Chief Executive Officer Gopal Kedia said as a leading steel manufacturing company in the country, they will continue to provide quality products for both local and international markets and help government to create decent jobs for Zambians.
Largest plant in Lusaka, of course. We have created around 400 plus jobs, local jobs already in our plant, and we are basically dependent on import because our raw material is not locally available. So what we are doing, there is a value addition of around 35 to 40% over the raw material.
And Ministry of Labor and Social Security Principal Labor Officer Eunice Mifima commended the company for adhering to labor laws, occupational health and safety for their employees.
Have a total of 400 employees and they are all permanent, which is a good sign. The workers are also unionized. These are some of the issues that we look at as a department. The company is organized and they are complying with the labor laws.
A robust manufacturing base is key to Zambia's social and economic development. Zanis reports in Lusaka District.
Rural health centers seem to be facing challenges across the country, ranging from inadequate staffing, lack of water and furniture. At Kamukuku Rural Health Center in Kasempa constituency, the situation is not different, as Sister in Charge at the health facility, Catherine Kasabula, makes an earnest appeal to the government to come to the center's aid. The Sister in Charge made the appeal when former Kasempa Member of Parliament Kawinga Mpande visited the health center. We have more in this report.
Former Kasempa Member of Parliament Kawinga Mpande has visited selected health centers in his former constituency to appreciate their challenges and see how best the solutions can be found. Mr. Pande was at Kamakuku Rural Health Center along the Mfumbo Road, where he was briefed about some of the challenges the health center is facing by Sister in Charge, Catherine Kasabula.
We have no water at the facility, so we are forced to draw water from the community. Then we have no beds for patients, blankets, bed sheets and mattresses. The facility was not completed officially, so that it can be given a handle and all the materials supplied as the way it's supposed to be. Then the completion of 2 admission ones. this makes it difficult to admit patients because we just have a labor ward and a postnatal ward and we can't put other general nurses. Yes, so the two wards are behind where you were and the other, yes, which is not complete. Then furniture, we have limited furniture, and then we have no staff house, which has limited us from having the number of staffs that are supposed to be at this facility.
Mr. Pandey was later veiled with a copy of the challenges and promised to deliver it to President Edgar Chagwa for possible action.
Try to do my best.
Yes.
Bring to the attention of the ministry, to the head of state.
Yes.
It's very keen to have facilities like that, so that there is no problem to go and tell the ministry, to bring to the attention of the ministry, to push for this. Yeah, so I'm not promising anything, but I believe. The last time was that they brought blankets.
Yes, those I found them.
Yes,
they are still there.
They're the ones we are using.
Yes, they are the ones that we have been using.
Mr. Pandey, in the company of another top PF official, Martin Mbaya, have also visited the recently constructed Ntemwa Rural Health Center in Kanongo.
Despite the fact that we did not succeed in putting up the council, we have an opposition councillor here, but the president saw the need to have a clinic for the people of Kanongo. So this is how this clinic was built, and quite happy, excited with what has taken place. We give credits to the president, regardless of who voted for him, like he always says. You take development everywhere, anywhere the opposition are. This is one of the classic examples where the PF was not voted in, but he said, hey, let's give them a clinic.
The health center was commissioned in December 2019, replacing the one which has been there since colonial days. It is said that the health citizenry is a productive one. Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet TV News, Kasempa District, Northwestern Province.
Minister of Health Dr. Chitalu Chilofya has noted with concern that COVID-19 cases are not reducing because people are failing to adhere to the set health guidelines. Speaking at the daily update, Dr. Chilofya has revealed that 2 deaths have been recorded in the last 24 hours, one in Lusaka and the other in Kasama. The country has within 24 hours recorded 204 new COVID-19 cases out of 785 tests done. Dr. Chitalu Chilofya has since warned members of the public who are in the habit of flaunting health guidelines to desist from doing so if the pandemic is to be fought.
Dr. Shiremba, who is from the laboratory cluster, who is head of the laboratory cluster, to talk to us and where we get these laboratory facilities. Where should you go if laboratory facility? In the last 24 hours, Zambia recorded 204 cases of COVID-19 out of 752 tests done. Further, we recorded 2 facility deaths, one in Kasama and one at Levi Monowasa. These 2 deaths involved a 72-year-old hypertensive diabetic at Levi and also a 73-year-old again diabetic hypertensive at Kasama General Hospital. Again, we continue to see comorbidities and old age being serious factors in outcomes. That's why we continue to call upon everyone to protect the elderly, to protect those with comorbidities, and ensure that they stay home and let's not expose them. The best way is to prevent. We did not record any BIDs in the last 24 hours, and of note, we did discharge from our care 505 patients. So, in terms of the response, we continue to focus on the key areas that we talk about, the 5 golden rules. COVID-19 will only be confined to our history if all of us at individual level wear masks and wear masks correctly. As we talk about wearing masks correctly, we are talking about not masking down when you are speaking, not masking down when you are supposed to be masked up, and you're supposed to cover the nose, the mouth, and the chin. As we talk about hand washing, we talk about hand washing correctly or use of alcohol-based sanitizers. Further, let us continue avoiding crowded places. Let's stay home and let us ensure that only those involved in essential activity are out there.
Government has partnered with the German government to upgrade the Solwezi water supply project to mitigate water challenges at a total cost of 18 million kwacha. Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection Minister Dr. Jonas Chanda has since directed Northwestern Water Supply and Sanitation Company to expedite the commissioning of the Solwezi Upgrade Water Supply Project. The Solwezi Upgrade Water Supply Project, which requires 1.5 million kwacha, will service an extra 3,600 people with clean and safe water in Kazomba and surrounding townships in Solwezi. The water customer base in Solwezi currently stands at 10,000. Dr. Chanda says increased mining and other economic activities in Northwestern Province has led to increased migration to the area, thereby increasing demand for water and sanitation services. The minister says President Edgar Lungu wants all Zambians to have universal access to clean and safe water and sanitation services without leaving anyone behind, in line with the country's Vision 2030, the 7th National Development Plan and the Sustainable Development Goals.
I've heard a lot of complaints from residents in Kazomba, Messenger, all these places that are receiving surface water. So what I would urge is that we expedite that project. So this is August. So only have August, September, October, 3 months. Let's reassure the people. Yeah. So with the Solwezi Upgrade water supply project, with the Germans coming in, and then with the the money that should be sourced, the 1.5 million. I think next time we come here, we expect a better solution. That's an emergency, So when you have 60% of people, customers, not having regular water, it's an emergency. So let's prioritize. This one should take actually first priority. So make sure you communicate to the Germans with the guidance of Ministry of Health. Us as a ministry, we have to source that 1.5 million. Then let this project be commissioned, if possible, even ahead of schedule. We shouldn't wait up to December. Let it be commissioned ahead of schedule. So I think on a weekly basis, Director, let's be in touch with our colleagues, so that we're all moving at the same pace. The reason I came here is that I didn't want to get a written report on the status of people who are suffering lack of water in Kazomba. I wanted to come here personally to see and look at the situation. And these are the issues that we're talking about, whether here in Northwestern, in the Copper Belt, wherever we have water sanitation projects, we need to expedite, because that is in line with what government is trying to achieve. Vision 2030, 7th National Development Plan, provide universal access to safe and clean water and sanitation services to all without leaving anyone behind. So for now, I think a lot of our people are being behind, they are being left behind. So let's close that gap as soon as possible.
And still to come in the news, Lusaka City Council, LCC, reduces legalization fees for unplanned settlement. Bank of Zambia Governor fired. Do stay tuned.
I have used Oracle Pure Glycerin for 2 years now. It has really worked for me. It has cleared all the black spots on my face. It has restored my skin beauty. It also smoothens the skin. Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for perfect skin. If it's not Oracle Glycerin, then it's not Pure Glycerin.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Are you a filmmaker? Well, you are exactly what we are looking for.
Camnet TV is calling on local filmmakers. For more details,
you can visit our headquarters in Ibex Hill, next to Hilltop Hospital.
Contact us on 0972 277467 or
0962 444 726. Camnet TV.
Not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. President Edgar Lungu has relieved Bank of Zambia Governor Dr. Denny Kalyalia of his duties with immediate effect. The head of state has since appointed Deputy Secretary to the Cabinet and former Finance Deputy Minister Christopher Vunga. President Lungu has since wished Dr. Kalyalia well in his future endeavors and wished Mr. Vunga success in his role. This is according to a statement issued to the media by President Edgar Lungu's first Secretary to the Press and Public Relations, Isaac Chipampe. And moving on in other news, Chieftainess Mwenda of the Tonga-speaking people of Chikankata district has called on all well-meaning Zambians to respect and pray for the leaders. Speaking at her chiefdom's first ever Thanksgiving celebration for a good harvest, Chieftainess Mwenda thanked government and the chaplaincy office for the continued support to her chiefdom. Chieftainess Mwenda said her chiefdom saw it fit to hold a Thanksgiving celebration as the chiefdom has recorded a good harvest after years of having droughts coupled with armyworms that destroyed their crops and left many families starving. She said the 2019-2020 farming season has seen many households record a good harvest compared to the past years. Chieftainess Mwenda, however, reminded people at the gathering that it is very important to give thanks to God at all times. Meanwhile, Minister of National Guidance and Religious Affairs, Reverend Godfrida Smaili, said government is happy to see that the chiefs have taken an active role in ensuring that the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation was actualized. And in other news, Lusaka City Council LCC has reduced legalization fees for unplanned settlements from 7,000 to 2,500 kwacha with immediate effect. LCC charges legalization fees on all developers in unplanned settlements so that their structures and settlements can be regularized for them to obtain ownership documents. LCC Public Relations Manager George Sichimba explains that the arrival to reduce the fees was passed by the administrator, Mr. Nixon Kwapu, sitting at council during the second ordinary council meeting held in the council chambers yesterday. He adds that the resolution has been made in the spirit of empowering the citizenry with the property ownership in line with the 7th National Development Plan. The proposal to reduce the fee was made by LCC management after noticing that affected developers were failing to pay the fee, leading to them failing to collect occupancy licenses.
Lusaka City Council has reduced what we call regularization fees for unplanned settlement from 7,000 to 2,500 with immediate effect. Now, regularization fee is the fee that is slapped on people that were developing or were building in unplanned settlements without permission from the council. And so for them to have their structures and the settlement regularized, council slapped a fee of 7,000 kwacha. But Lusaka City Council has realized that so many people are failing to pay the 7,000 kwacha. Hence, they are failing to get official documents or legal documents for their properties. And so management proposed to council, which sat yesterday under the administrator, that we reduce from 7,000 to 2,500 kwacha, so that as many people as possible can pay and obtain their certificates. As we speak, we have 300 occupancy licenses that are lying uncollected because people have failed to pay the conditional regularization fee, because the condition that Lusaka City Council put was that before you collect your document, you have to pay the 7,000. And this also has been done in the spirit of empowering people to own property in terms of houses and other structures, and also in line with the 7th National Development Plan. So we want to appeal to affected developers to take advantage of this gesture by Lusaka City Council to promptly pay for regularization so that they can collect their occupancy certificates and other documents.
Operation Young Vote Executive Director Ges Nyirenda has charged that the 470 million kwacha Youth Empowerment Fund recently launched by President Lungu falls short of the benchmark to be classified as a sustainable empowerment program that has long-term impact. Mr. Nyirenda notes that all empowerment programs should be in line with the youth policy of 2015. He says the 470 million kwacha Youth Empowerment Fund has no link to the overall objectives and key strategies that government pledged to follow as contained in the 2015 Youth Strategic Plan. We have more in this report. Close to a week ago, President Edgar Lungu launched the 470 million Youth Empowerment Program on the Copper Belt, and prior to that, Vice President Inonge Wina also launched the 30 million kwacha Youth Empowerment Fund for the artists in Lusaka. One would think these empowerment funds are a ray of hope for many unemployed youths who may get a slice of the funds. Well, this is not the case, as Operation Young Vote Executive Director Ges Nyirenda has questioned the motive of these empowerment programs, which he says are not in line with the needs of the youths, especially on a long-term basis.
The 470 million kwacha youth fund that the president launched is to have meaning. We must get back to the drawing board and ensure that it is in tandem with what is contained in the National Youth Policy, its implementation plan, and also the employment and empowerment strategy that government put forth in 2015. We have seen such kind of, ploys and strategies where you bring something for the youth because you want to hoodwink the youth, because you want the youth to begin to think that you are attending to their plight. And we have seen failure in such moves. And the president himself has lamented so much that people have failed to pay back. What guarantee this time around do we have that people are going to pay back? What has changed in the young people who failed to pay back just in the recent past that they are going to pay this time round? So for us, if people are going to hold opinion that this is a ploy to just hoodwink the youth so that they can stop demanding for their freedom of expression.
Mr. Nyirenda has also questioned why the empowerment funds are not in tandem with the National Youth Policy of 2015.
2015 National Youth Policy, which was launched by the president himself, and it has not lived its lifespan. One of the things is that youths are not looked as a homogeneous group. They are heterogeneous, and that policy itemizes what kind of category the youth for. We have youth in school, youth out of school, youth that have never been in school, youth that are in colleges, youth that are female, youth that are male. All these are categorized, and what strategies and interventions are needed to have these youth empowered. It's not a matter of giving money. I mean, how do you give money to the young people and tell them, can you be innovative and do business? Meanwhile, there's no business to do out there. Even if there was business to do out there, the environment is so poor, it's so bad, that if a young person is going to compete with a Chinese who has everything, you think they are going to stand on the market? The Chinese person will just make their products cheap. And there you go out of the market, you just in a flash of a second.
Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
For now, we take a break, but still to come is international and sports news. Stay with us.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant Save Nations to Develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy-saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown, and we are proud to be one of those.
You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. We continue with the news. In international news, small rural towns in the Western Cape that depend on tourism for their survival are itching to get their economies up and running. With the relaxed travel restrictions under level 2 lockdown, they are looking to cash in on the cold weather currently gripping the province. One such a town is Uningdale, that was turned into a winter wonderland after snowfalls earlier this week. In other news, but still in South Africa, COVID-19 has left no one untouched. Whether it's someone battling the disease, losing a loved one, or experiencing general anxiety and fear that is gripping the globe, there are rays of light and hope amid the chaos. A young Cape Town doctor is one such an example of hope. We monitored SABC for more in these stories.
Following months of lockdown woes, the town was buzzing this week. The snow, which coincided with level 2 of the lockdown, brought an influx of visitors.
We saw the snow on the news in Uningdale, and we thought we have to go see. So we just climbed in the car and we went and drove over the border from the Eastern Cape to the Western Cape, and we found a little chalet here. And we decided to come for coffee and something to eat at Uningdale today. And just exploring the neighborhood is lovely.
But like other small towns dependent on tourism, Uningdale still has a long way to go before it's back on its feet. Small businesses here felt the brunt of the collapse of the tourism industry.
We lost half of our staff because we couldn't afford to pay them.
And for us, it was not a good time. And like I said, we're on pensioners, so if we were dependent on this restaurant from the financial point of view, we would have closed it down. And that would have been a disgrace, because this is the only pub and restaurant in Uniondale. So.
Oh, geez, the snow was wonderful. To wake up to the snowflakes was so nice. And then we opened the restaurant as normal, and then people started coming because it was so cold to ask for coffee and that. And then just after that, it was just everybody just started coming in, and it was just so nice to have that buzz again. And
it's very important that people hopefully will start traveling again, and it is also very important for us, especially on the guest house side, that people will start visiting towns again, the small towns again.
Over the years, Uniondale has been a hit with overseas visitors who contributed largely to its local economy. With the international travel ban still in place, South Africans have been encouraged to venture out to these rural towns and support them.
So we'll probably get the local tourists now. Guys, come and have a look at Uniondale. We had a bit of snow a day or two. We got lots of day visitors, but we would love you to come and sleep over.
With tourism being the lifeline of towns like Uniondale, they cannot wait for things to adjust to the new normal.
29-year-old Dr. Kirsten Riley first came to the Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital during her community service year. When she was moved to the burns unit, she was a little overwhelmed. Children of all ages are treated for burns ranging from slight to dire. After 2 months, she found her calling and never left. For the medical officer of the burns unit, not even cancer could keep her away.
The children in here are so inspiring that if they can get through this, I can get through it. And I needed to be here to see that, for them to help me get through my illness and to help them get through their illness. We're supporting each other, and I couldn't imagine being anywhere else during this time.
Riley was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer at the beginning of the year. Following surgery and chemotherapy, she was back in the burns unit after just 6 weeks. She refused to stay home, even when COVID-19 struck. Refusing to give in to self-pity or fear, she continues to treat patients.
I don't think I could ever prepare for it or ever be prepared for it, which to a certain extent actually helped me treat patients going forward, because I've got a better understanding of what they're going through and how I can help them.
The Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital is one of the best in the world. It has dedicated, competent staff, and Riley is part of that.
Showing up for work every day, just being an example to all other staff. We're also a training hospital, so we have many junior staff coming through here and training. And having someone like Dr. Riley being an example to all our staff has been absolutely wonderful for us.
The mother of a 1-year-old baby is afraid of contracting COVID and infecting her family. But she follows safety protocols stringently and soldiers on. And she insists she's no hero.
No. The kids that I see, the staff that I work with, they're the heroes. They've been the ones who have supported me through all of this. Supporting our kids just been my lifeline. I'm not the hero, they are.
Riley will find out this week if the cancer is in remission. But no matter the outcome, you will find her on duty in this place that heals children and nourishes hope. Mariska Botha, SABC News.
We now look at sports news. Golfers who are participating in a 3-day tournament at the Lusaka's Golf Club, which started yesterday, 20th August 2020, till Sunday, 23rd, is being held after a long suspension of sporting activities due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Golfers include Madaliso Mutia, Dane Moore, Sydney Wemba, among others, gathered to take part in the tournament that is likely to bring a lot of change to the face of golf. This tournament is being considered to hold new hope for the beginning of what is planned to be the start of many more tournaments to come.
It is a breath of fresh air for golfers who have participated in this week's tournament at the Lusaka Golf Club, as many have not had the privilege due to the pandemic currently at play. Golfers from all across the country, including Madaliso Mutia, Dane Moore and Sydney Wember, together with many more, gathered to take part in the North versus South Invitational Tournament. It is being considered to hold new hope as it is the beginning of what is planned to be a start of many more tournaments to come. Camnet TV caught up with some of the golfers on the first day as they teed off on an exciting 3-day tournament that will see champions awarded the trophies in the men's, ladies and junior divisions this Sunday. Going into the third and final round, there is a tie with Madaliso and Sydney holding the top spot at 1 under. Madaliso, finishing a level par round yesterday, carded a 1 under in today's round, finishing at a total of 1 under in the last 2 days.
How did you go today?
It was a rather tough day. It was windy, but all in all, a good score. Okay. I mean, I managed to shoot 1 under, not having my best stuff, so it was actually quite exciting. Obviously, a good group of people that I've been working with who are involved with the organization and the mobilization of funds and also partner sponsors. So far, I'm very happy with the turnout from the corporate side of things and then also from the golfing perspective. There have been a number of amateur golfers who've joined us and a slew of junior golfers, 13 of which actually just showed up from nowhere. They were not on the draw and they showed up the Friday morning to play because they heard there was a tournament. So that was exciting for me to see the junior golfers.
Sydney started off to an eventful first day, carding 2 over in the first round and a solid 3 under round of golf in the second day of play.
Yesterday, na tele +2, na tele -3.
Okay.
Nafenda buno sana. Nguna chambo bubi. But nachtamana nje kuchitarikava. Sana fi. Ona pano.
Kwa mukwangala ninkuisa ku section kwa chikosa sana. Ukwati umfika bwino sana.
Kwa chumfuka buno nokupenda na chambo ku back 9 because na chamba na 7 but na chingisha 5 birdies na 1 eagle.
Dane Moore began his first round with a solid start of 2 under to close the round, and on day 2 fell 2 back, shooting a 2 over round, placing him on the 3rd spot going into the 3rd and final round.
How did you go today?
Struggled with the putter today.
Struggled with the putter?
Yeah, it was very cold.
Okay. What's your round yesterday and today?
Well, yesterday I shot 2 under. Today I shot 2 over.
Okay. So would you say that it was the putter that let you down or the conditions as well, in comparison to yesterday?
Putter.
Putter, okay. So
yeah.
Everything else is intact?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you looking to fare tomorrow?
Well, I have no expectations or anything. Just going to go into the round and try and enjoy it as much as possible, you know.
Today also happened to hold the Captain's Tankard, a game that saw 150 golfers participate in honor and support of the current captain of Lusaka Golf Club, Noel Nkoma, who is coming towards the end of his tenure at the Lusaka Golf Club as captain.
Mr. Nkoma, how are you doing, sir?
I'm okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Chiluba, for hosting me on Camnet.
Thank you so much for being on the news segment today.
Not only that, but I haven't seen you Kangwina in a long time. Have you quit golf or what?
No, I'm in the back of the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice to see you.
Being the captain of Lusaka Golf Club, today you host a tournament, and I'd like you to tell me how it has fared, how you have played, and how you are looking forward to dish out the prizes today.
Well, I think it has been a very successful turnout. We had provided 450 players, and I think that is more or less what we have achieved, if not more. But I think what is most important is the fact that today marks the coming to an end next week of my reign as captain of the Lusaka Golf Club. I've had, I think, a very fantastic and successful 2 years as captain. So much has been achieved. And I can only use this platform to thank my executive committee, who I think have demonstrated not only goodwill, but I think a lot of support to me as a captain and the chief executive officer of the club.
Well, I thank you for spending some time with us, and congratulations on your tenure.
Thank you so much.
And all the best for the future.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
That sports item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a look at the headlines once again. Government to upgrade Solwezi water supply project at a total cost of 18 million kwacha. Bank of Zambia governor fired. OYV urges government to do more in sustaining youth empowerment programs. In international news, South Africa level 2 lockdown in Unionville town to boost tourism with its snowfalls winter. In sports news, Lusaka Golf Club hosts 3-day tournament for the first time in a while. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day, which is coming from the book of Psalms 34, verse 17 to 18, and it reads, "The Lord hears his people when they call to him. He rescues them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed." This has been Camnet News on Camnet TV, not just another channel, and I have been your anchor, Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga. God bless.